welcome to today's training. Just so you know what this thing is all about and so you know who Jacob and myself are. This is a training all about how to turn the idea of quality leads into qualified leads. That's kind of the punchline. But the whole idea of if you want your agency to deliver really good leads to your customers and leads that turn into money so they want to pay you, this is the right workshop for you. My name is Sam Carlson. I am a co-founder of UpHex, along with my partner, Jacob, who's also Jacob Morris, who's also a co-founder of UpHex. Our background is we actually have been in the agency game. Now, I say 9 years because we sold our agency several months back, but I should say 10 because I think we're still in the agency game, even though we no longer own an agency. But we own all the dents, all the dings, all the bruises that come along with growing a digital marketing agency because we did it for a decade, all right? So customer complaints, churning customers, all of these challenges that you guys deal with, we have met them head on. We are no stranger to people like saying really strange things after they buy your stuff. You're like, I never said any of that. So this is the workshop for you. Now, to make sure that we are all on the same page, before we get going, I wanna make sure that the chat and all the engagement, we're gonna ask you guys for a lot of engagement. Everything is working. So grab the chat at the very bottom and at least give me a hello or something along those lines so we can get moving here and we will do it. All right, there goes the hellos. Now, Jacob, you will be excited to know I am using today, instead of Keynote, I am using artificial intelligence to, this is Gamma. I haven't necessarily learned how to get rid of the tabs, but we're gonna roll with it because it's not that big of a deal. You guys get the point. All right, how we discovered the winning formula to Facebook ads. You guys, converting paid ads into customers is a skill that will get you paid like none other. It's like out of every agency model, I don't care what it is, the one skill that if you possess, that if you hone, the art and science of paid advertising will make you more money than any other. This is exactly how, go on any video that Alex Hormozi put out, paid ads is how he did it. Paid ads is your ticket to financial freedom if you take the time and the effort to both learn the skills, acquire the knowledge, and then use the right tools to do the job. And we're going to show you some cool tools here, of course, today. So my goal today is to share what took Jacob and I say 4 years. I don't know if that's a fair number or not. We made great headway in the first 4 years, but really turning leads, cold leads, Facebook ads into customers, it took us a long time, right? It was not something that anybody showed us because back then there was nobody saying, here, this is what you do. We kind of had to learn it. And again, dents, dings, bruises, learn it on our own. Okay. So my goal is to take those 4 years and consolidate them down into a single hour. Really, that if we do this right, I think we can give you guys the knowledge and skills that you need today to start doing that. Okay. That way you can take your agency to the next level. Let's get moving. All right.
Well, and I don't know if you, real quick, Sam, I don't know if you got this on your slide, so I might be jumping on you on this, but I think one of the important contexts too of that 4 years that you're talking about, because really it's way longer than 4 years that it took us to crack this code. And one of the things that I think we should lead off with is how we got started in this game to begin with. And for those who don't know, so the agency that we started was a chiropractic marketing agency. This was years and years ago. And Sam, before doing this marketing agency, he would actually go into chiropractic clinics to help them with their operations and to help them with their in-office sales. He didn't do anything on the online marketing side. And for me, I was doing web development, doing marketing. I'm very data dependent. That's kind of my realm of things. And through a mutual friend, we got partnered up to explore this option with chiropractic and doing chiropractic agency. And one of the reasons why it took us so long to figure out the right way to do it is because of our backgrounds. So there were other people at the time who were doing local lead gen for chiropractors. But what was becoming overwhelmingly clear because of Sam's experience in clinics, my experience with data, is the supposed experts were total just they were just BSing everything because the results that clinics were actually getting in clinic sucked, right? Sure, you were getting leads, but everything in clinic, everything after that completely sucked. And that's part of the reason why it took us so long to get it, because both me and Sam were like, look, we're going to do this. We're going to do this right. And we're going to do it right by the client. We're not just going to have vanity metrics, which is what everybody was basically pushing for and still pushes today for the most part in local lead gen, are vanity metrics.
Yeah.
What we were pushing for is actual real world results that clients can depend on. And I think that's one of the things to kind of keep in mind as we go through this presentation is you're going to see concepts that might seem familiar, but with twists to them. And you'll see things that you're like, wow, is it really that simple? But the thing to keep in mind with all of this is it's built on the foundation of your end client needs to actually get positive results out of it. We're not going to just have a bunch of vanity metrics and say, look, you got 100 leads for only $7 or whatever, which that was one of the things when we first started. Like everybody's like, oh, $5 Facebook leads. Well, that's great, but how many of those people actually turn into patients? Well, none of them. So how great were those $5 Facebook leads? So I think that's one of the things just to kind of start us off with is it took us so long because we wanted to make sure that the end client was the one getting the benefit as well, not just the agency.
Well, and because what people were saying, the narrative was very distracting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, so if everybody was saying what we came up with, if you guys today take what we're going to show you and that becomes the narrative, then everyone else is going to get there really fast, right? But there were so many dissenting opinions, and like you said, man, for the better part of 3 years, we chased cheap lead costs. We were like obsessed with having that vanity metric. We thought that's what it was all about. And you guys are going to learn here today that that's actually kind of a telltale sign that you're doing it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And that your client is likely going to churn after the honeymoon phase is over. And it does not take long for the clients to feel and understand what we call cheeseburger traffic or cheap leads. Okay. You might be able to like afford a cheeseburger for $5, but you want to pay a bit more when you're talking about prospects and turning those prospects, those cold prospects, into paid customers. So thank you for the context. And where you guys are at today, the environment that you are at today is both a blessing and a curse. It is a blessing because you do not have to deal with a lot of the rigor and manual work that we had to deal with, but you're also inundated with noise, with complexity like has never existed before. So this is the two-prong approach. One, we're going to teach you the skills and all that kind of stuff. And then two, we should distill down what really matters so you guys can do this. So let's go ahead and jump into the unvarnished truth of agency success. And this is kind of keying back into Jacob talking about our first, I'd say really 2 years is kind of where we were feeling this. So if you guys are 2 years into your agency, and I don't care the model, this is probably going to resonate with you. Because when I started the agency, I started my agency and Jacob started his. We then came together after, I don't know, a little while. But I remember the outright optimism. I call it marketing math. I remember thinking, okay, well, if I get this many clients and they're paying me this much, that's 15 grand a month. And every last cent of that money was going into my bank account. You know, I didn't think there's no overhead. I understand there's overhead in a business, but you just kind of romanticize the model when you're getting into something, right? And that's the ignorance tax that you pay. And the quicker that you get up to speed on not paying the ignorance tax, the more you get into the reality where this is a great business model, assuming you do things right. So the reality check started coming when we landed clients. Actually, because when Jacob and I came together, I could focus just on client acquisition and he focused just on fulfillment. We went from zero basically to $25,000 a month of recurring revenue in the first month of our agency together, right? So it didn't take us long to get the customers. It also didn't take us long to start hearing customer complaints about lead quality. Lead quality led to customer churn. And this was a cycle that was so perplexing to us because we were doing the things we thought we should do. We were getting, in fact, really cheap leads. Okay. But we did always hear about lead quality. Now, the standard narrative at that time and still persists today, and this is myth number one that we need to break. This is a lesson number one that you guys need to write this down. We thought and were told and we tested and did not work that targeting on Facebook was the end all be all to fixing lead quality, or in other words, target rich people. That was the narrative. Well, Facebook has so many fancy ways of targeting people. Just do this technical thing and surf this ad set and duplicate that ad set and do that and do this. And we did everything. And Jacob knows how to do all of those things. He's a technical wizard. And despite all of that, that wasn't the solution. And so we would go through these different narratives. We would go through all of this stuff. And in spite of all of that, I will say one thing that we did really well. We would take our licks, we would go back and we'd talk to the customers and we would iterate. We would iterate and iterate and iterate. Okay. And over time, we got better. After iterating for 3 years or 4 years, this is about 3 or 4 years into our agency, I would say we got lucky. Okay. And what I mean by we got lucky is we were able to have a published case study by Facebook. Okay. Now in our niche at that time, there was no other published case study in chiropractic marketing than our case study. And on the left-hand side of your screen, that's what you're seeing. You're seeing the actual results. And I think I can zoom in, right? Yeah, I can. That's kind of blurry. Sorry about that. But there are our results. And this is what they published, right? 312 leads in 3.5 months, 70% of the leads claimed an offer and all the kind of stuff that we did. But what was really interesting about this case study is this case study was actually being done on a clinic where we knew, obviously he was our customer, but he was also a very close personal friend. And we were able to get a lot of really incredible data, both from our Facebook rep and on site. And everything that we learned was so incredible. All the attribution that they were able and insights that they were able to provide completely changed the way that we looked at lead gen. Now, mind you, was this 3 or 4 years into the agency, Jacob?
I want to say it was 3 years. I want to say about 3 years in.
Okay. So mind you, for 3 years previous to this published case study,
which side note?
There it is right there.
Sitting on my wall.
They gave us a fancy plaque. I need to get one of those for my wall. They only gave us one. It's really annoying. I digress. For 3 years, we had really chased this vanity metric. Now, this clinic in particular was running 3 campaigns. Okay. It was running 2 broad campaigns. Specifically, they were chiropractic and acupuncture. And we were targeting a broad group of conditions, services that people already knew. People know. Do you guys know what a chiropractor does? Yes, you do. Okay. Do you know what an acupuncturist does? Yeah, they prick you and do all that kind of stuff if you're in pain. Okay. So we had 2 of those campaigns. Our lead cost was incredibly good on those. It was great. But we had one niche specific campaign that honestly we thought was good, but we weren't anywhere near as excited about that campaign as we should have been. Because as soon as we found a formula lying hidden in the world of real results, actual payments, actual ROI on ads, as soon as we started looking at that, we found that actually the one thing that we should be focusing on was niche specific campaign. Okay. And that vanity metrics were a siren mistress. They were not something that was good for us to chase at all. Proper attribution, you guys, taught us that vanity was coming, or I'm sorry, that revenue was coming from qualified campaigns and not vanity metrics. All right, let's see if I can, you guys, this is my first time using this software to present. So just bear with me a little bit, okay? And this is where we came up with what we call the qualified lead formula. Okay. And that became our secret weapon, which, by the way, as soon as we started sharing this exact message with our customers, they were like, that makes sense. And it should make sense to you guys too. We focused on narrow, highly qualified audiences instead of casting a wide net. Now, when you go and you work with your customers, the bread and butter, the thing that they want to sell are services that are commonly known. Those are harder to market to because they have a lot of competition in that exact same thing. Okay. And making offers clear and simple can become more difficult. So our ads started speaking directly to specific pain points. All right. And we really focused on almost filtering away or sending through the funnel more qualified people. So you can think of the idea of qualifying and filtering very similar. Okay. And we started tapping into what I call existing motivation. Harry Brown wrote a book. It's an amazing book, The Secret to Selling Anything. He said, you can't motivate anybody to buy anything. What does that mean? That means that your customers already live with pain points or whatever the case may be, and you can't cause them pain. You have to just find what the pain is and then talk to that thing. And so we started talking to very specific pain points. All right. And what that looked like for us was visually what you're seeing on your screen. All right. So instead of focusing on lead cost and volume, man, there's nothing cooler than saying, hey, we sent that guy 150 leads last month. That's a cool feeling. You think, but you want to know what's really cool? Sending somebody 40 leads and then saying, hey, I did 35 grand, I did 40 grand, I did 50 grand or whatever last month in ROI. That's a cool feeling. Nothing beats that feeling. And when you get that feeling, when you see those outcomes, that will change your entire business. You guys, give me a 1 in the chat if you now believe that qualified leads beat out vanity metrics, because if you're not getting that at this point in the game, we may need to spend some time here. The low quality leads, the high volume leads, your mindset does not need to focus on those people. Our agency post case study focused on qualified prospects only. Okay. We focused on specific conditions, demonstrative style creative, and very targeted language, meaning our ads, the actual words and the offers spoke to a very specific person. You'll notice right here, if I am a person struggling with severe back pain and I see this, that makes sense to me. I'm like, oh, what is this? It'll capture my attention. It's new. It's non-invasive. It's, we don't have to worry about medication on this. All right. And I'm sure when I'm going to spend some time, I'll pass some time over to Jacob here at the conclusion of my presentation, which it's only a couple more slides, but that way we can dive into some other examples that are more interesting to you guys, because I'm sure you're not all in the chiropractic niche, right? But the point is this, okay? Low quality leads versus qualified leads. I believe that low quality leads only happen when you target large audiences of people who by their very nature will never hear your message because your language can't be specific enough to speak to their pain points. And if you're talking about cold traffic and you're looking at people on a scale from 0 to 10, 0 being frigid cold, 10 being red hot, ready to buy, that type of language will never get anybody past a 1, potentially a 2. But the more specific, the more qualified your funnels, the more qualified your ad campaigns, you will default to probably a 5 to 6. Now, it's a lot easier to take a 5, 6 to a 10 through proper nurturing, and we're going to talk about what happens after that, than starting at a 0 or a 1. A 0 or a 1, good luck. You're going to get the lead quality complaint over and over and over. Okay. And I'm going to let Jacob take a minute to talk about what our metrics are for the qualified lead formula and what they mean to your agency.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I don't know that you made these slides, so I made slides too that went over this as well. So we're all good. But the qualified lead formula is a 10-to-1 formula. Okay. And I like to work backwards through that. But before we even do that, one of the most important things that you guys have to understand, and I was just telling this to Sam yesterday, so there's a phrase that I like to say that before you can talk to the person, you have to talk to the computer. That is how online marketing works. Everything is algorithmically driven. You can't get around it. You have to be able to talk to the computer first. And so one of the problems that we run into as marketers is the computer gets in our way more often than not because we try to overcomplicate things. And especially in local lead gen marketing, the problem that you run into the most, especially if you're going to add things like detail targeting and stuff like that, is the computer needs data, needs lots of data to make good decisions. Okay. So one of the problems that I to this day still see a lot of marketing agencies make is they will use like lookalike audiences. They will use detailed targeting. They'll use these things on their Facebook campaigns. And the problem with doing that on a local scale, if you're only doing a 10-mile radius, you just shrank your audience size dramatically. Now, Facebook has picked up on this, and in just the last, like I think 5 months or so, they've introduced a new product called Advantage Plus targeting, which allows you to kind of guide Facebook. So if you are doing any kind of Advantage Plus targeting, I think that's a great idea. That's one of the things that I would highly recommend doing is Advantage Plus and throwing in detailed targeting because it's going to guide Facebook. But the key is it keeps everything still broad. It keeps it to where there's numbers to work with. The Facebook algorithm, if you say, hey, Facebook, here's 10,000 people to work with, the algorithm's not going to know what to do with that. And you're going to see all of your metrics and all of your results are going to be so erratic and crazy. You're not going to be able to do much with it versus here is 200,000 people. And Facebook's job now is to find out of those 200,000 the 5,000-6,000 people that are actually going to convert. And that's where we get into the 10-to-1 formula, because these metrics, if you can hit these metrics, these are going to algorithmically, right? Not only are they going to be good for your agency, but algorithmically, they're really good signals for Facebook itself. So first and foremost, a 10% conversion rate on a Facebook lead gen form. Guys, if you're not using Facebook lead gen forms, you need to use Facebook lead gen forms.
Yes.
Landing pages, they're great. And I will completely 100% concede the fact that when you send traffic to a landing page, you are going to get a better quality person, meaning you're going to have someone who is more motivated to take action. Okay. That is true. No ands if buts about it. A landing page is better at that because they actually have to enter in their information. But here's the problem with the landing page. When you are doing local lead generation, you're not getting enough conversions into the algorithm for the algorithm to work in your favor. Okay. So when you use lead gen forms, yes, there is going to be more, as Sam pointed out, there's going to be more 5s in your batch versus the landing pages. You're going to get a bunch of 8, 9s, and 10s out of it, right? But the algorithm needs those 5s and those 6s and those 7s in order to learn who to go for. So that 10% conversion rate on a Facebook lead gen form is absolutely critical. It's a really key thing for the Facebook algorithm that it needs to know, hey, I'm getting conversions consistently and the audience is responding positively. Now, we'll get into how you can maximize that to where you're getting the right kind of 10%, but that's the number that you want to hit. The next one is your click-through rate all. You want this to be 2% and better, right? The key between the click-through rate and the link click-through rate, which we'll get to in a second, is really the ratio between them. You don't want the click-through rate all to be more than 3 times higher than your link click-through rate, because that's going to indicate some problems. But the click-through rate all, the reason why the algorithm loves the click-through rate all number is because it shows engagement. Right. So basically, the click-through rate all is anytime anybody clicks on anything on a Facebook ad, they've clicked to look at the comments, they click the like button, they click to read more, they click to watch your video. Any of those clicks get counted in that click-through rate all category. It's a good indication to Facebook that people are engaging with your ad. And as much as we as advertisers want people to engage with our client, Facebook wants people to engage on Facebook. They don't want people to leave Facebook. They don't want people to have bad experiences on Facebook. So ads that have good click-through rate alls, Facebook is going to promote in front of more and more people because it shows that there's good, strong engagement to it. So your target that you're shooting for that click-through rate all is going to be a 2% target or better. Then you've got your link click-through rate. Those are the people who actually click on your ad to go to your lead gen form, or if you're sending to a landing page, they go to your landing page, right? those are going to be more your intent-based clicks, right? So the click-through rate all is just more engagement-based, going to give you a really good indication of your creative. The link click-through rate is going to be, do they have intention to proceed forward down your funnel? That one you want to be around a 1% click-through rate. And the reason why you want that to be around a 1% click-through rate is it's going to be a good, if you can get 1%, you're going to consistently drive traffic. Because here's the thing, Facebook charges you on a per 1,000 impressions basis, which means if you are hitting what's called CPM, your CPM number, that means Facebook is going to serve your ad up to 1,000 people. If you can hit a 1% click-through rate and a 10% conversion rate, you're going to get at a bare minimum 1 conversion per 1,000 impressions. That's a really good ratio for the Facebook algorithm to be able to start learning and be able to start accelerating from there. If you aren't able to hit those numbers, you're going to stay forever trapped inside of the learning mode or just the I give up mode on Facebook. And in which case the algorithm is just going to become a hindrance to you, because Facebook is honestly trying to get you off the platform because they think that you're not a good ad anymore. So you want to hit that 1% link click-through rate. So that way you can, again, you're driving the traffic necessary to keep the algorithm happy. The other really, oh, sorry.
It's Sam interrupt Jacob time.
Yes,
okay,
go for it.
So you guys, we're going to do a fun little exercise. You guys are going to get a ton of value from this. Grab your pencil or whatever, and whatever, take notes. I'm going to do a thing where I say, this means, and Jacob can only give 5 words to answer. Okay. Jacob, a 10 to 20% conversion means to the agency that they have hit the mark on
their lead gen form.
Okay. On their offer, right?
No, on their conversion, not on their offer yet.
Okay. On their offer. Okay. A 1% link click-through rate means they nailed what?
Their offer.
A 2% click-through rate all means they nailed what?
Their creative.
Okay. So creative, offer, and then conversion is 10 to 20%.
Is your 10 to 20% for your lead gen.
Okay. Now, here's an interesting question. There's actually one piece of data, and we'll just talk about the landing page thing real quick. If your landing page does not load within 3 seconds, 40% of your traffic is already gone. That's another reason why you should use lead forms. Okay. Lead forms also make you consolidate your thoughts, your ideas, your value proposition to a headline and a subheadline. The best practices for, and I don't know if you should be able to, pull this off your hip. The number of words on a lead form, best practices is how many words?
You want to keep it 40 words or less, typically.
Okay. Okay. So that's a good thing for you guys. Why? Because it makes you consolidate. You should never sell in 10 words what you can sell in 5. Okay. And then one last question, and I don't want to get too nuanced, meaning I don't want to go on a big tangent on this. If in fact you do have a conversion rate over 20%, is that always good, or can that sometimes be bad?
I will do the little bit on the nuance. It depends on the offer, of course, right? So if your offer is sign up for my newsletter, then if it's over 20%, that's to be expected. If your offer is come into my chiropractic clinic for an adjustment, and you're getting 20, 25, 30% claim rates, there's a serious problem with your offer, in the sense that what that is indicating, when your conversion rate becomes too good, you've got 2 things that are most likely happening. And one of the most likely is the Facebook algorithm has learned the wrong person. And what it's basically doing is it's basically taking everybody, and I know we've had these, right? For whatever reason, the people who like filling out forms, and then when you call them, they're like, I never filled this out. Facebook has found all of them in that local area, and that's who's filling out the form. Or the other problem is your offer is too good to be true, right?
Yes.
You're promising too much in that offer.
Yes. So there are your bumper lanes for that formula. We got to move on. All right. So now that you guys know the qualified lead formula, that's not the end of the road. And Jacob was right. It took us the case study didn't happen until year 3. So it took us like 3.5, 4 years to figure out the qualified lead formula. Okay. The next thing did not happen really until we'd been in business for 6 years, I think, ish. All right. And that was the challenge of converting even qualified leads into customers. Now, I will tell you this, that the mere fact that we fixed our ad library and we went from all of these general ads and a few niche specific, and basically cleaned out all of the general ads and focused on the niche specific, that automatically started sending traffic to our customers that was way more qualified, way hotter, even a 5 or 6. Okay. A 5 or 6, and you're going to get your 8s and 9s and 10s that just roll into that funnel anyway. But if you get those coming into your sales funnel, you're going to see output that wasn't there before. Happier customers, less complaining about this. And the ones that already have operations dialed in, they're going to be printing money with you. So even by doing that one thing, we saw a noticeable change in our agency. But the next challenge was, broadly speaking, getting more of our customers and getting the leads that we were generating for them to convert. All right. Now, this took, honestly, it was a moment in time where we got lucky with the case study. We got lucky with this case study. I'm going to tell you guys how we were able to figure this out. All right. This is a customer we had named Dr. Peave. And Dr. Peave had during the pandemic, so 2020, Dr. Peave owned a practice in Arcadia, California. And so if you think the pandemic was bad there, how many of you guys are from, maybe, do we have any California folks? Give me a 2 in the chat if you're from California. Jacob was in California at the time. He's now here with me in Boise, Idaho. So we got 1, we got Jacob. The pandemic in California, in terms of if you're a small business owner, was way worse. Idaho, we're very business friendly. Of course, it affected people here, but people in California were really desperate. And Dr. Ray Peave was no different. After being in business for 30 years, because of the pandemic, he saw his practice get cut by more than half. So here he is in desperation mode, having to lay people off, having this business of 30 years that is going nowhere. And of course, he reaches out to me and says, hey, I heard about Patient Stream. That's the name of our agency. Heard about Patient Stream at a conference, and I need your help. Now, honestly, I remember my call with Dr. Peave, and I encouraged him to not work with Patient Stream. Only because, I don't know about you guys, I do not like saving failing businesses, only because it's incredibly hard to throw Hail Marys and watch those actually convert. And then I get blamed, or we get blamed for the outcome, when in fact the ship was already sinking. But even after me encouraging him to not buy from us, which that sounds funny, he still, in a way, kind of begged. And so I said, okay, fine, here you go. This is everything we have. I gave him, obviously, everything we had in Patient Stream, our proven campaigns, all the training, everything. And I didn't hear from Dr. Peave again until we started getting a whole bunch of customers that were just signing up. These people just started coming from everywhere, from a testimonial that he posted in the group. But that's not the story. So after talking with Dr. Peave, after hearing about his results, which I'm going to tell you here in a second, I got him up on the phone. I said, hey, let's do an interview. And he told me what had happened in his practice. This is going to blow your mind. So the first 6 weeks, Dr. Peave, you'll notice the first 6 weeks of his Facebook ads, he basically got the same thing that he had gotten every time he had done this before. Low quality leads, nobody's answering their phone. You know, if people do answer their phone and they sign up for an appointment, nobody's showing. And over and over and over again, that was the first 6 weeks, utter failure. But this time was different. This time there was no blaming anything on Patient Stream, because I told him, I said, well, you can't blame anything on Patient Stream. You know, there was no blaming anything on us. There was none of that. And so one day he got super lucky. You got super lucky, because this is where we all learn this. One day he's walking by his front desk and he hears the gal at the front desk talking to a Facebook lead. And he said, "Are you talking to a Facebook lead?" She said, "Yeah." And he said, "Transfer that call to me." He got on the call with the potential patient, and he had a 3 to 5 minute consultation on the phone with that patient. Now, I want you to just quickly do a rhetorical question in your head. Is there a different way that a person whose sole job is to book appointments and just get the person, like, that's a tactile thing? When can you come in? Wednesday at 3:00. Okay. Is that a different conversation from a doctor who's saying, "So it sounds like you're struggling with neuropathy. How long has this been going on?" What is the difference between those two conversations? One shows that you care about the person. One shows that you care about your job. Okay. And that person doesn't care about your job. They care about their health. So Dr. Peavy got on a call, showed empathy, had a pre-consult, a mini doctor's consultation. The patient showed up the next day, and 2 days later converted into a $4,500 care plan. That was the first time he saw ROI. And he saw it so quickly from that experience that he got his team together. He said, "I don't know what happened, but every time you get a lead on the phone, you're going to transfer them to me or to the other doctor." And they did a 3 to 5 minute consult. And in the next 2 months, over the next 2 months, they doubled their practice and they added another $50,000 of cash back into their practice. And all they changed was one thing. Dr. Peavy personally called the lead, got on, had a conversation with them, and showed empathy and care. That was it. All of the time that we spend trying to automate the people out of our sales funnel is killing us. And all of the time that we take the emotion out of the sales funnel, it is killing us. People buy from people they know, like, and trust. Period. If there's no trust, if there's no relationship, that 4 or 5 in traffic temperature will never go to an 8, 9, 10. Okay. If that resonates with you guys, give me a 1 in the chat. Give me a 1 in the chat if you are now seeing the importance of the human interaction, the human personal touch in the thing. Now, by the way, I said this took us until 2020 to really nail this one down. And this is the one that even today, when I hear people talking about conversational AI, when I hear people talking about whatever it is they're talking about, whenever I don't hear a person talk about the human touch and balancing automation and empathy, I know that that person really doesn't know what they're talking about. Like, honestly, okay? Over automation is a pitfall, and it's a pitfall all of us fall into. It's okay to automate things, but the power of personal connection is the thing that cannot leave our sales funnel. And the message must travel to our customers. Any of you that have seen my Genie pitch deck, okay, have seen me talk about this exact thing. You have to find a balance between your automation and the people that are in your sales funnel with you. If you don't, those two pillars won't stand together, and you won't have the kind of results that Dr. Peavy have. By the way, there's one really interesting myth that we can break in this very moment. Apparently, Dr. Peavy, during his first 6 weeks of failure, had talked to our support staff and said, "These leads aren't working. Can you change the targeting to target more rich people?" Our team luckily knew that that was not the solution. So we didn't change that. So the exact same ads that he was losing with, he started winning with without changing a thing. That's myth number 1. Myth number 2, a year went by and Dr. Peavy was still running the exact same ads. 2 years went by, Dr. Peavy, same ads. 3 years went by, Dr. Peavy, same ads. Now we sold the agency. I don't know if he's still running the same ads, but for 3 years, that doctor ran and built his patient base with one proven ad template and by adding in the human touch. That is something that a person who's not done this can never tell you. All right. So this is kind of the summary. And then Jacob, I'm actually going to call you to action here in just a moment. By the way, we didn't script any of this, and we don't have to, because we've done this and I know exactly how this works and I know exactly what to ask him to do. I know exactly what he's going to do when he do it because this is a formula. We live, eat, drink, sleep, breathe, all that good stuff. Okay. Looking back, here is what we really, and this is, if you're taking a screenshot of anything, this is one slide. Hopefully you've been taking a bunch of screenshots. This is one slide that you want to have on your wall. You want to have it there so you understand the Pareto's principle of success in lead generation starts with a specific sub niche, a small library of ads. Like we were limited. Were we limited to 12 ads when we first used UpHex inside of Patient Stream? It was a small number.
It was, I think it was about 12. And keep in mind too, that even though it was 12, it was really only about 6 because we did an A/B of each one. So there was really only 6 core offers, and then each offer had 2 ads to it.
That's right. A small library of ads, you guys, you will be blown away what you can do in your agency with a niche and a small library of ads. It is all you need. If you look at my YouTube channel, the UpHex YouTube channel, you see case studies of people who have huge businesses with a small library of ads. Keep your automation and your conversational AI simple. Keep it to the point. Don't get crazy and robust. And maybe we'll do something on a different training just about those things, because those are another conversation all by themselves. Inject people and empathy into the conversation. Now, you might think this only worked for you because you're in healthcare, and obviously people have a lot of emotions tied to that. Empathy is not only about pain and that type of emotion. If you're working with a contractor, people want to feel heard and understood. If you're working with a real estate agent, if you're working with a lawyer, all of these people buy from people, okay? Empathy only means that you take them in to shut up and ask that person to tell them what it is that they need help with. And as long as you listen to them long enough, then it will ring true. They will find clarity. They find clarity just by telling you what they want. If you tell them what they should want, they will not want to work with you or with your service provider.
And actually, real quick on that, Sam, and I see this as a mistake all the time that I see marketing agencies make in their automations and in those initial text messages that they send out to people, right? And we made this, and the reason why I know we made the same mistake too, before we made the switch to add more empathy. So something to keep in mind when people are filling out your lead form, they're filling out the form on your website, they are indicating they have a problem, right? They're having some sort of an issue that you are going to now solve for them, whether it's medical, right? Or whether you are somebody who does power washing a driveway. My problem is I have a really dirty driveway and I have family coming over for a party. I want a clean looking driveway, or I have a really dirty driveway and I want to sell my house, whatever it is, right? But I have a problem with my driveway. The mistake that we make all the time in the agency space is, what's that first message you send them after they fill out the form? Hey, I saw that you claimed our $47 knee decompression. When can you come in? Hey, I saw that you claimed our $50 power washing special. When can we come by? How does that message have any empathy in it, right? We're going straight for the jugular on those messages saying, look, you signed up for this, let's get you going, right? Because we as agencies, we're feeling the pressure from our clients to, you've got to get me more clients. You got to get me more clients. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to compress that sales cycle when it can't be compressed, right? What this person just did is they said, hey, I have a problem with a driveway. I have a problem with my knee. Your first message should be, hey, Sam, I hear that you're having some issues with your knee. Tell me more about it. Hey, Sam, I see that you're having some issues with your knee. I'd love to have Dr. Morris give you a call. Do you have time later this afternoon? Right? Hey, Sam, I see you've got an issue with you want to get your driveway cleaned. Is there a special event coming up that you're trying to get it cleaned in time for? Right? You're addressing that root problem and saying, I'm acknowledging you're having an issue. Let me see how I can help you. Right?
Yes.
So that's one of the big pitfalls that I see a lot in those automations.
Yeah. Don't go straight for the sale. You're going to lose it. Okay. You guys do those 4 things and then repeat. Now, here's what I imagine is happening with several people watching right now. Give me a 1 in the chat if you're a current UpHex user, and give me a 2 in the chat if you are pre-UpHex. Let me see those fly in, because we've got 2 things that I want to make sure that you guys see clearly. Okay, we got a 50-50. We got a good mix. Here are some next steps for you guys, and I want to make this as easy as possible for all of you. And you guys get your typing fingers ready, because we're going to put Jacob to the test, and maybe Jacob pull up UpHex, the template library. So here's what we're going to do. Your next step, it took us years to figure this out. Like, you guys, I hope that the simplicity that we've laid this out doesn't get passed by, because I promise you, this is years and years and so many conversations of people saying this lead quality sucks. As soon as we figured these things out, we stopped hearing all of those. It stopped like that. Okay. It took us years to figure this out, but today you can access all of these things that we've learned in a proven library of ads. Jacob is using the same qualified lead formula, and we're applying it to our ad library. So if you're a current UpHex user and you haven't started doing this yet, it's time to get off your butt and start moving. If you are pre-UpHex, you like how I came up with a term there, Jacob, pre-UpHex, it's super easy for you. You just need a niche. You need to take the ads that we're going to show you right now, and then you need to start selling them to your customers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to turn some time over to Jacob to jump into the UpHex ads library. Now, UpHex has a lot of really cool features. We're not here for the features right now. I want you guys to start seeing, okay, if I don't know how to do the 10-2-1 formula, what does that mean to me? You can get started doing this right now today. This doesn't have to take you a year to figure out your ad library. So here's what we're going to do. Jacob, go ahead. I need to get off my butt. Yes, good thinking.
So, but anyway, so this is the UpHex template library that you guys have available to you. And there's a couple of really cool things too that just came out today for this with our AI tools. So I'm also going to show that to you guys as well, or I'll explain it to you guys here. But just like what Sam was saying, all of the ads that we have currently in our template library are ads that you can that follow that 10-2-1 formula that you can use basically right out of the gate. And I see a lot of ones in here. We've got plumbers, we've got car detailing, we've got dentists, we've got landscaping, Cairo. Some of these I don't have. So like co-working, I don't have that, but I'll tell you how you can tell me that you need that, and we'll get them added into the library for you. Chimney and masonry services, home and auto. So we got a lot of stuff in here. So let me just do a couple of these. So we'll do car detailing. Here's some of the cool things that you get with the UpHex ad library. So first off, you get a lot of ads that you can then use, right? So we've got a lot of different things. We've got stuff for Google, as you can see. So we've got templated Google ads, as well as templated Facebook ads, okay? The other thing that you'll see in the template library, templates that have been around for a long time, you're gonna see much higher import count numbers. And then templates that are brand new, they won't have anything to them, but you can see how many times other agencies are using these ads, right? So these are going to be really good indications of, oh, this template will probably work for me, because a lot of other people are using it and using them successfully. Now, when you go into a template, inside of the template ad library, you're going to get a bunch of different pieces in here. Let's see. All right, back to this. We got the auto cleaning. Everything's working. So let's say I'm going to do this shine for less. Okay. So inside of these templates, they're going to have everything that you're going to need, from the images to the targeting, which this is going to use that Advantage Plus targeting like I was talking about. It's going to have all of the body copy. It's going to have your headlines. It's going to have your form information, all the greeting stuff. All that is all good to go. And this is ready to go. And the other cool thing that we do too is all of these are tested in 2 ways. One, because we have all of our fantastic UpHex users, we have people who are running this so we can see what the data is as they're being run live. But the other thing that we do is, again, because of our amazing UpHex users, we have access to, I don't even know how many campaigns at this point.
Lots.
Tens of thousands of active campaigns. And so what we've been able to actually do is we've been able to build a tool that can predict within about a quarter of a percentage point the click-through rate and the conversion rate of a campaign when we build it. So we'll build out a campaign, we run it through this tool, and then it's like, here you go, here's what you can expect results-wise. So these things get both of these things checked right now, and we know that these templates work because they're going to follow that 10-2-1 formula. They're going to always talk, right? They're going to start off with that problem, right? They're going to talk about they're going to have these really compelling images in order to make sure that we're getting that link or that click-through rate all going. They're going to have the lead gen forms are nice and short. So that way we're not wasting a bunch of text on the lead gen form, so we can drive for those conversions, right? So I know some of these other ones that we've had in here kind of flowing in. So we've had things like, let me go through here, life insurance. We've actually got a lot of life insurance in here. Let me go to professional services. We've got life insurances in here. Right. So again, we've got Google templates in here. Say what?
I said, tell the devs to stop pushing stuff into here right now.
Yeah. It's
really messing with our presentation.
So yeah, they're currently pushing it. We've got 4 new features that are coming out today for UpHex, and they're literally pushing them all out right now. So, which is why we keep getting the 400 errors, because the app resets every time they're updating code. So anyways, so you've got these again, same concepts. So we got this one here. We've got the images. We've also got some in here too, where you'll notice that they don't have any text on them. So then you can download them. You can add your own text to them as you want to. We also have in here custom variables that we've added into these templates. And these are really cool for you guys on the template side of things, because you can create that one template. And this is something that Sam and me preach all the time. Keep your template libraries small. You don't need 50 templates. This one template can work for any city in America, because you have this custom variable where when you're launching the campaign, you just type in Boise, LA, Dallas, and it's going to inject that in there every single time. So you don't need to create 50 different templates, just the one, right? So you can have these custom variables that are added in there. The key to all of this is making sure that you keep your library simple. You keep your offers as clear as possible, right? And again, one of the things that we also do in all of these is we focus on the problem first. And so if you use our AI tools, and if you're creating something from scratch, right? So let's say you're going to create a custom campaign using one of our AI tools. What our AI is going to do, so first off, it's trained on, again, tens of thousands of campaigns. And then what we do is we take the best of those 10,000 campaigns, and we train our own AI models on how to write those ad copies. And lo and behold, what comes out to be the best way to start off an ad, address the problem. I mean, big shocker, right? But look, so busy parent in Boise, worried about your family's future, right? So we're addressing that pain point, and then we're providing the solution. Secure your loved one with affordable life insurance for just whatever a month, right? This is going to be the part that is seen before that read more, right? All of our ads are optimized for this line right here before that read more. So they can see the image, they can see that top little bit, they can see the call to action down there, they can then get to that lead gen form. This is the kind of stuff that you guys want to be looking for as you're getting your ads and getting that 10-2-1 formula. These are the things that are going to algorithmically work in your favor, as well as it's going to key up those things that we talked about with Dr. Peave. We're going to flag the people who are actually worried about their family. So first off, what does this ad tell you, right? Are they a parent and they have a family? Are you going to get people who don't have kids clicking this ad? Really low likelihood that you're going to, right? I mean, even the pictures show families on a couch, right? Really low likelihood that you're going to get a single person. So if your client is looking for families, this is going to do it. You don't need to put in targeting that says, hey, I want kids. Yep. You don't need to do that. The ad itself is doing the filtering for you, right? And that's the key thing with this 10-2-1 formula is the ad itself needs to be the filter. You don't need to get fancy with all of the targeting stuff.
Yeah, let me, so we're getting a little bit long on time here, you guys. I see a lot of questions coming in. Here's the point of this, okay? The point of this is the ad library is something that you can come into right away, start using. It's easy to modify. If you want to change a couple things, easy to do. As is, as they are produced today, Jacob, can you take 30 seconds and talk about performance? Because I know there's a couple questions about the templates that are here in the library and about performance.
So all of the templates inside of our library with an asterisk will reach the 10-to-1 levels, right? Now, my only asterisk to that is that you can have absolutely identical campaigns that are launched in 2 different clients and they get different numbers, right? That is something that can happen 9 times out of 10. The problem is with the client's ad account. They've either had ads banned in the past, Facebook's got some issues with them, whatever. There's usually some underlying surface reason why that happens. But as it stands, every ad in the ad library will reach the 10%, the 2%, and the 1% when you launch them as is. Now, that being said, should you launch a template exactly as is? I would say no, because you as an agency owner also have a unique selling proposition, right? So if I'm coming in here and if I'm doing insurance for families, life insurance for families, and I import this template, maybe for me, my shtick that I have with my agency is, hey, I am doing life insurance for families with teenagers, right? Maybe that's my shtick. That's what I'm going for. So I'm going to take this ad template and I'm going to tweak it slightly so that way it addresses that maybe a little bit better, right? So
But
you
still
never want to
maintaining
just
the core.
yeah,
The
still
core
maintaining
things.
the core the core of the template, but making your own little tweaks to it so it becomes personal to how you have sold your agency as, right? You don't want to import a template that flies in the face of what your agency claims to do for your clients, right? So make sure you make those little adjustments as well.
All right. So we're going to do a Q&A here, but before we do that, I want to go ahead and give you guys a link. If you are pre-UpHex, you're going to get the ad library. So all the ads in there, they're pre-built, proven, yours in a click. Okay. AI ad creation tools. If you want to rewrite something like Jacob was saying, like maybe you don't want to change anything, but you just want to have a variation, dump that into the rewrite tool and it'll give you a variation while still maintaining the integrity of the qualified lead formula. Okay. We have a snapshot that's available for you as well. It's under preferences and there's a snapshot link there. 3 client getting funnels so you can go out and get clients, and then lead gen you. More information and more skills is always going to be a thing. Knowledge and skills will get you paid always. Knowledge and skills will get you paid always. And curated knowledge and skills will get you results faster because you're not having to go all over the place and learn a whole bunch of different things that don't connect. We have curated inside of Lead Gen U information that you can just go through. It's an 8-hour course. Now, actually, now that you added your Google stuff, it might be 10 hours. It is right there. And it's all there. So you don't have to go through the years of learning these things. You can jump into it. And over the weekend, not only can you have a library of ads ready to sell to your customers, but you can also go over and have some skills to build as well. So I'm going to leave this screen up. I put into the chat a link. So if you want to go over and grab your 14-day free trial, you can start that now. And then we're going to take the next 10 minutes and we're going to go do a Q&A here real quick. Jacob, do you see a question you want to jump into, or you want?
There's a couple questions that I'll jump into, but before we jump into that, I'm going to steal your screen for 2 seconds because one of the questions is how do we get if we don't have a template in the template library, how do we get it? So if you are not a member yet of the UpHex group, the other link that you guys are going to get here, I'm going to put it in the chat right now, is our Facebook group. Not to toot our own horns, but this is the best Facebook group on Facebook. So
I agree. I agree.
We work our butts off to make this the best Facebook group on Facebook. But every Thursday, we release new batches of templates into the template library. And where we get the ideas for that is from you guys, right? So we look at data coming in, but we also get a lot of ideas from you guys. So if you go to the group, if you become a member of the group, look for a template Thursday release post. And all you've got to do is post a comment like these guys are doing here, right? So landscaping, they want to do MMR and PLR digital programs, epoxy flooring, right? Garage floors. Post what you want inside of the Facebook group on any of these Thursday template release posts. That will then tell my team, hey, we need to get these added into the template library, and you'll see them most likely show up in the next Thursday template release and you're going to get both Facebook and Google ad templates that you can then utilize inside of your UpHex account. So I just wanted to throw that out there as well. So, all right. Now, Sam, you can share your screen again.
Okay. Does Facebook fill out the custom field city name dynamically? No, it's easy to do. Your customers, that's the cool thing about UpHex, is when your customers launch their own ads, it'll say, if there are, excuse me, custom fields, it'll say city name. They put in their city name. Like, they don't have to be educated to run ads, right? They don't have to, because it will prompt them city name, address, whatever the custom field is, it'll put it in there. It takes them 2 seconds. Okay. How about countries and other languages? You want to talk about languages, Jacob?
Yeah. So as far as other countries, so most of our stuff is English speaking countries that we have data on. We do have some data with other foreign countries, primarily Spanish speaking countries. And we are still seeing the 10.2.1 also continue to work in those other languages. We are working on some tools that will convert these templates into other languages for you. The one thing that I will say, if you are speaking other languages, because our data set is very English heavy right now, so I would say 85% of our data that we have collected and that we use to train our models on are English speaking, and then the other is primarily Spanish speaking. So if you're not one of those two languages, our data set's pretty sparse, right? So if you're Romania or something, we're not gonna have a lot of data necessarily on the nuances of the ad copy.
Yeah.
Human behavior and human psychology is the same, right? So that's not going to change. So the way that you're going to the offer is going to be presented and those kind of things, that's going to stay the same. That should work regardless of where they come from. The nuances though, right? So maybe in the country that you're going to be doing advertising for, that word choice or the way that offer is presented when it passed the sniff test, that's where you would go in and you'd make those edits to the template. But again, the beauty of UpHex with this is once you create a template, you don't have to make it anymore. It's now replicatable for every single client. You just click a button. You literally are going to click launch campaign and it's going to go to that client. Then you go to your next client, launch campaign, right?
Create it once, sell it 1,000 times, on to the next. Do clients keep ads we ran for them if they ever cancel? You guys, we were an agency. We built this exact same thing too. We don't like our clients taking our ads, and especially unscrupulous, which this does happen, clients coming in just to take your ads. So we built a feature inside of UpHex. So if you do that, you just click a button, boom, they're gone. So we got you, David. John, do you suggest we still use these AI images, or do you suggest that we change our creatives to use our own? I've always wondered on that, how much to keep using them. 30 seconds. I'm going to have to give you a time frame so we can get to as many of these as possible.
Yeah, just use the AI images as is. If you want to do your own, that's fine. Though through our own data testing, lots and lots of data testing, the myth that the personal images, the images in clinic or whatever, right? Oh, my client took this picture, doesn't work. There's almost no, in terms of when you start getting the macro data, there's no difference between AI generated images, stock images, and the ones that your client took with their cell phone. As long as the key is the offer a good offer. The offer is a good offer and it's communicated well. The picture is just there to help make that connection. So by all means, go ahead and use those AI images as is. And we've got an update that's being pushed out as we speak that will actually allow you to generate more AI images with a single click. So there you go, guys.
Pretty cool. You guys, we got a lot of really cool stuff coming up. The Team UpHex bundle is there for you. The ad library, AI creation tool, client getting funnels, lead gen, all the skills you need. We appreciate everyone coming here today. This has been a ton of fun for us. I would ask you to do this. The agency space is really noisy. There's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of complexity. If you've got value from this today, I would ask you to do one thing. One, we would love a comment or something in our community, letting people know that there was real good value, real true value in our presentation today, right? Hopefully by teaching you the qualified lead formula, by showing you our library, by showing you how to involve people back into your sales funnel. These things can make a huge impact to your clients. If you make an impact in the lives of your clients and you help them adopt new ideas, the right ideas, by the way, they will pay you and they will be loyal customers. By the way, if you want one really good sales hook to land more customers, it is to tell them cheap leads will kill your business faster than anything else. So if you're paying less than whatever the number is, $10 per lead, chances are you're having low quality leads, you're having poor contact rates, you're having cheeseburger traffic. If any of these things sound familiar, we have a way to get you more qualified leads and a process to do that. I'd be happy to jump on and show you how it works. That right there is called contrast marketing. You paint a picture of what they accept to be a current reality of theirs, and then you say, oh, that's wrong, here's the new way. That contrast will help you do anything you can. So thank you so much. I will post the link one more time here in the chat. That way you guys can go to the link, grab today's offer, get in the community. And by the way, on the UpHex front, you guys know we have daily classes. Okay, this is a one-off class, but as soon as you become a member, a paid member, and even during your free two-week trial, you get access to daily classes on these topics. So if you're concerned that you're not going to get enough done in 14 days, don't worry. We're here. We're teaching you stuff. We're sharing what we've learned in the journey. And that is our mission. That is why Team UpHex beats them all. Thanks for coming. Jacob, any final words?
No, you just gave the final word of, if you guys are part of UpHex, join the daily classes. Please, 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 guys. Those daily classes are invaluable to you. So whether you're a member or you're not a member, if you've got questions on Facebook, on Google, on running an agency, on operations, on running a business in general, come to those daily classes. You're literally going to be tapping into a wealth of knowledge across our team that is unmatched. And I'm not just saying that because it's, I'm one of the co-founders. It's literally unmatched, the amount of information that you'll be able to gain access to completely basically for free, right? We've had so many people say, I've paid, $10,000 for a course and I learned more in one of those free daily classes than I learned in a course. So please, guys, make sure you come to those daily classes.
All right. Thanks everybody for coming, and we'll see you over in the community, and go Team UpHex. Rock and roll. Thanks, guys.